The love of Jesus. Huh? Now again, men, when I do a men's conference or if I do a parish mission, I was just in Orlando 2 weeks ago and did a parish mission. Now on average, when I do a parish mission, the average since the last confession, if I heard, is 30 years. In Orlando, I had over 10 people that hadn't been to confession in over 50 years. 50. Because what keeps men from a confession is our pride, which is the core of all sin, It's our pride. But a lot of it's our fear. I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be and so we go around and we stay in our bondage. And the devil keeps us there and focuses on ourselves so that we're not free to walk as sons. We can't walk in sons because we're bound by all of our sin, right? And so we need to be set free. And you got to sit there today, gentlemen. Those of you who haven't been in confession in a while, it's time to man up and get to confession. It's time to make your stupid excuses you make. Well, I don't have to. I go right to Jesus. Come here. Whack! Are you stupid? Everything is a communal thing. There isn't I just hurt Jesus when I sin. You do not. You hurt me when you sin, even when you sin alone. You know what that sin is, don't you? Yeah, you do. You're most used to it. Anyway, of course, even when you do that sin all by yourself, you not only hurt your relationship with Jesus, you hurt your relationship with me and everyone else in this room. So you can go to God, to Jesus, and say, Jesus, I'm sorry for my sin. Will you forgive me? Of course he'll forgive you. He's love. But then he'll say, you hurt the rest of your brothers and sisters. You got to go ask all of them for forgiveness too. Huh? Yeah, all of them. There's billions of them. Yeah, I know. That's why I gave you a priest who represents both me and the whole body. And isn't it amazing that people sit there and they're afraid that they'll, again, when I was in high school, I came to Jesus at 17. I was converted by Billy Graham, in case you're wondering. But anyway, so I came to Christ at 17 years old. And so most people, when they come to Christ, they don't change instantly, do they? It hasn't happened to me. It's a process. I keep going. That's why I still need to go to confession. I go to confession every 2 weeks. It takes me about 20 minutes to go to confession every 2 weeks. And don't get all excited. I'm still a virgin. You know what? Ever see a 52-year-old virgin? Well, take a look. This is what they look like. Now, some of you might sit there and say, well, Father, I know why you're a virgin. Look at you. Shut up. I didn't always look like this. Thank you very much. I've had my chances. But anyway, so I have. What are you laughing at? Anyway, so of course I have. So in the midst of it, so here I am going to confession before I entered seminary. And I went to confession. I was very scrupulous when I was a teenager, first came to Jesus. And so I used to go in downtown Pittsburgh. I'm a Pittsburgher. Originally, I'm a priest from Diocese of Duluth, but I grew up in Pittsburgh, a Steeler fan, because God's a Steeler fan. And so as we sat there, do you even have a football team up here? Anyway, so as I was growing up, I would go in downtown Pittsburgh. There would be a adoration chapel and a church, St. Mary's in downtown. There would be an old priest hearing confessions all the time. Well, I hope this guy made it to purgatory, but I think he's in hell. He was the most miserable human being in the world, and he was a priest. He would yell at everybody when they went to confession. He'd yell at little old ladies. How can you yell at a little old lady? And the way he would yell is that, thanks be to God, in those days it was behind the screen, right? And so you'd go in there and he would start screaming at you. And what he would scream at you, he said, scream your sins back at you. So everybody that's out there doing adoration, they can hear your sins, So it used to be something, I'd used to kneel there and say, Jesus, this is my penance, just going to this priest. And I'd take a deep breath, and I'd go in that confessional, and I'd start, and then he'd start screaming at me. And I was a typical 17-year-old high school kid. And when I'd say, yes, Father, I know, Father, I'm sorry, Father, I'm going to try, Father. Okay, I'll better next time. Never again, Father, you're right, Father. Okay, Father. And I'd walk out there, and all the women would look at me and go, mm-hmm. And I'd say, and I just kneel there with my head down thinking, oh, have mercy on me. And then I had a great